Phil, thank you again for letting me come into your home and discuss this incredibly hard topic to talk about. But let me just ask you, is that your family in that photograph over there?
That's my daughter and her husband and my 3 grandkids.
Oh, great. Are they local here in Tennessee?
They used to be, but they are in Denver, Colorado right now.
Wow, that's a long way away. Are they good about visiting?
Pretty much. We get together as often as possible.
Oh, you go out there as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, that's great. I have 12 grandchildren of my own, so I have some local and some far away, so I know what it's like.
Yeah, they're very special, aren't they?
They really are. They really are. So, Phil, are you ready to get started today and talk about this topic?
I guess so. It's as good a time as any.
It is as good as time as any. And I want you to know why I'm passionate about this, because it's very hard. It is very hard to think about a time when we won't be on this earth anymore. And I understand that. And I know people think, well, if I don't plan for it, then maybe it won't happen. But I think it's going to happen. And the reason I'm passionate about it, about what we do and what we provide for services, is I've been involved in 3 funeral planning myself. My father passed a few years back, and what a blessing it was. He had taken care of all the arrangements, of all the costs, of all the plans, of where he wanted to be and when. And this took such a burden off of my mother and all of his children and grandchildren. And we were able just to mourn his passing and celebrate his life. The second funeral I was involved in was my mother-in-law. And we thought she knew. We knew what she wanted. And we knew that she was going to be buried next to my father-in-law. And we knew that she was going to be in the mausoleum. And we knew, as one of the first female veterans in our country, that she was going to have a military funeral. Well, that's all we knew. And we didn't know who was going to pay for it. Well, we've assumed everyone's going to split it. Until one of the siblings didn't have any money and couldn't split it. That sibling was the one who wanted to change the plan, so there was animosity and a little bitterness there because everything wasn't planned out specifically. And tragically and sadly, my son was killed when he was in college. And on the worst day of my entire life, we were forced to make decisions that we had no idea about. And decisions were made emotionally and not logically. And of course, it ended up costing us a fortune. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to anyone else. All right, so enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about you. Can you tell me and think for a moment on the day of your passing? I know it sounds tragic, but who is the one or ones that will get the phone call first of your passing?
My wife.
Well, I'm so sad that she's not with us today. And what do you think her reaction's going to be? Do you think she's prepared for the actual final moment?
I probably doubt that very much.
Have you guys talked about what will happen?
Briefly.
Have you? Do you think she's aware of all your plans and what you all have decided? Or do you think that at that moment she'll be in the frame of mind to make any decisions?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough day.
It is. It is. I mean, we talked about it. I made a lot of emotional decisions on the time of my son's passing because we couldn't think logically. Do you see that?
Absolutely.
Well, from our experience that we've heard from our family members, a lot of this is how they feel. They feel turned upside down. They're getting over the shock of losing a loved one. Even after a long illness, there's still a shock when it finally happens. And then comes the immediate questions. Where does the body go? Who will pay for the final arrangements? Who will coordinate the paperwork? Are we making the right decisions? Will we agree as a family? Who will be in charge? We let our eldest son pick out a casket. Of course, being young, he was led to the most expensive casket there was. And wanting the best for his brother, that's the one he chose. So did we pay too much? We definitely paid too much. What do you think that the odds of any of this happening with your family are?
That's very possible.
Have you ever had to plan a funeral before?
Just one.
Yeah. Can I ask how that went?
Actually, I take it back. I did have a part in two others. All three of them had pre-planning. They all had made all the arrangements. We just pretty much let the funeral director take it and run with it.
Oh, wow. So that must have gone very smoothly for you.
It was much easier than it could have been.
Is that one of the reasons that you're interested in pre-planning as well?
Absolutely.
Well, that's great because we pre-plan for so many things. I'm sure you have car insurance, don't you, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we pre-plan. There's only a 1 in 10,000 chance that you're going to even get in a car accident, but you have car insurance. So, of course, you know the need to pre-plan. Well, let me ask you, when did you decide you wanted to be cremated as opposed to a traditional burial?
It's probably been in the back of my mind for some time because my parents were from a city that was about 500 miles away, and they had already got plots with their families, so that's where they were buried. And I think the whole idea behind having a actual burial is so people can come back and see the gravesite. Well, it's so far away that nobody ever goes there. So I don't see a reason to spend all the money for a gravesite if nobody's going to visit it. So that's where the cremation came into play.
Absolutely, absolutely. With family being all over, you just don't know where people are going to end up and if that's going to be where a person is buried. Let me ask you, are you a military vet?
No.
Okay. And do you have a will?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does your will reference your choice for cremation?
No, it does not. We haven't even thought about adding that to it.
Well, as you probably know, a will talks about what will happen to your stuff. Where will your money go? Where will your possession go? Who will get great-grandma's emerald ring, right?
She's got a ring?
As an example.
Okay.
And a pre-planning will tell your heirs, where do you want your body to go? What will happen? Oh, of course. Of course, I hope that you're as confident as I am that you're going there. But of course, that's where we want our soul to go. But on this earth, legally, we have to do something with our physical body at the end. And it either needs a traditional burial or, of course, a cremation. And this is a choice that only you can make. Your family doesn't want to talk about it. And I know that. When my dad would even try to tell us about his pre-planning, we're like, we got you covered. Don't worry about it, Dad. Don't spend all that money. It was the biggest blessing. And what do we hear our members say so often to us? Don't worry about it. I'll handle it. Let's not talk about it now. Relax. We know what you want. Exactly what I said to my dad. I'm sure you didn't want to talk to your parents about their passing as well, did you?
Absolutely.
And in fact, people don't want to talk about it so much. We don't want to think about our own passing. Time magazine wrote an article about how no one wants to talk about it. But of course, parents need to be parents one last time and ensure that their greatest legacy is leaving behind family members who can remain friends after they're gone. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What do you think one of the growing reasons for cremation is?
I would probably say cost.
Cost is actually the number one reason for growing cremation. It is protecting your finances and your loved ones' finances. 20 years ago, only 25% of this country was cremated. Now today, it's the number one choice and remains over 53% to this day, and it's rising. Some states have cremation rates as high as 80% already. And of course, as you mentioned, the number one reason is cost. Also, it's much more acceptable. And finally, like you said, flexibility. It's hard to get back to see someone in a different state. In my case, when my father passed, we had family all over the country. We waited 3 months to have his celebration of life and funeral till it was convenient for everyone to be there that he loved. And it was such a blessing that it didn't have to be at a drop of a hat and people didn't have to rush to get there immediately. Now, Phil, what do you think the cost of a funeral is today? Do you have any idea?
Full-blown funeral, probably 12 to 15,000.
You are very close. According to the National Funeral Directors Association, the average median cost of a funeral with viewing, burial, and vault is $9,135. Wow. Add on that a cemetery plot, which of course you'll need. That's between $3,000 and $6,000. And then on top of that, you have headstone, flowers, cemetery fees. And those costs are upward of $15,135. Now, what do you think the average cost of a cremation is?
I don't know, probably 4, 5, 6,000, somewhere around in that vicinity.
Well, again, according to the National Director of Funeral Association, the national median cost of cremation is $5,150. So clearly, it's significantly less than a traditional burial, which is, again, one of the main reasons that it's increasing in popularity. Now, how do you think that price is going to change over time?
Oh, it's going to go up. Nothing goes down.
That's right.
Except big screen TVs.
Big screen TVs go down?
That's about it.
Oh, no, that sounds like that happened recently. But you're absolutely right. The cost is going to go up. In fact, funeral costs on average go more than double every 6 to 8 years. So the great thing about pre-planning is you can lock in your costs today, and hopefully you won't have to use your plan for another 20, 30 years. That price is good today. We had a client who bought his plan in 1976. Way back then, the plan was only $275. He passed in 2018. It cost him nothing. to have our professional guaranteed cremation services done for him because he was paid in full and he locked in his price in 1977. I think I said 76, it was 77. So, what happens if you're away from home? Now, a lot of funeral costs or advertised cremation costs talk about their pricing for cremation. Well, that price is going to be if you drop dead at the crematorium. Most people don't hang out at the crematorium, and that's not where they're going to be. So if you're more than 50 miles away, most local funeral homes will charge you over $3 a mile coming and going to pick up your body. I had an uncle who passed in Florida. It cost his family $6,000 to send the body back to Rhode Island where his services were done. So our plan covers you no matter where in the world you are, except for North Korea and Iran. Apparently, do not go to North Korea or Iran, and don't think you should either. So, the other great thing about this plan is if you are away from home, or if you relocate, this plan goes with you anywhere in the United States or Canada. Cool. So, if your wife decides she can't take it anymore and she's still in Denver visiting those kids and refuses to come home and you all move to Denver, this plan is still good with the same guaranteed services. And it's still good anywhere in the world where you pass and at no cost to get your remains back to your loved ones. And if you need medical treatment somewhere, or if you're out visiting your grandchildren, you are covered.
Cool.
And speaking of grandchildren, and a part of our plan that we offer that we hope you never need is a plan that covers your unmarried children and grandchildren up to the age of 21. And while we hope you never need this plan, it just shows you what kind of a company we are. That your entire family at a time of loss, and I know as I buried a child, that on top of everything, having, as in my case, an extra $20,000 bill you weren't thinking about is another additional stress on top of emotional loss. And what a great legacy to leave behind. Another part of our plan includes making everlasting memories. This is a website that you can use to upload anything you want. Personal messages and letters. You could do your favorite photos, things you want people to know after you're gone. You could even leave a voice message for your loving wife. And just tell her one more time how much you love her and how much you think she would love hearing that after you're gone.
Well, I would hope so.
And in addition to that, we also offer a place where you can keep everything. Our clients over the years have told us what they need. And this beautiful high-gloss memento chest covers everything you're going to need. It has a place where you can keep your mementos and your keepsake. We had a story from a woman who told her daughters, "Oh, I saved all of the love letters your dad wrote to me. After I'm gone, I want you to go out to the garage and get all those love letters and read them and know why I loved your dad so much." So upon his passing, they were at home cleaning out and they said, "Remember Mom said about those love letters in the garage?" And they went to go read them, and sure enough, mice had gotten to the box and they were all destroyed. So this just gives you a place to keep anything that's precious to you that you want.
Is this mouse proof?
It is mouse proof. It is pure wooden and lined. We also include a simple urn. And you can choose either a brown burl urn or a biodegradable if you would choose to have your ashes scattered or buried. So this is great because it prevents upselling at the time of your passing. Your family and loved ones don't have to go pick out a lovely vase, and of course our best ones for our most beloved and cherished individuals are going to be hundreds, even thousands of dollars. This, you have everything you need. A forever love candle. People have asked to have something that they can leave a few ashes in and celebrate someone's life on important days such as anniversaries, birthdays, the day of their passing. Just a little tribute. And thank you cards. Now, people do different things with your thank you cards. I have a colleague, he wrote thank you cards to 25 people who had an impact on his life. And he's got instructions on what to do to them after his passing. So those can be sent to people as a little letter after he's gone. In addition, and probably most important, is our pre-planning guide. And what this guide encompasses is all of your final wishes. It talks about things about what your family needs to do after you're gone. It gives vital statistics that are needed at the time of death. You can even pre-write an obituary if you choose to. In addition, people to notify upon your passing. Also, you can keep in here passwords and numbers to Social Security accounts and Medicare and other important materials that it is very hard to find when people are looking for them through their mess. And this keeps everything in one place. Credit card information. And you can get as detailed as you want. You can even write down memorials to your children. And it's all in one place. You tell your loved ones where to find this, and everything is taken care of. We have a special package if you know any veterans that's interested in pre-planning. And again, to show what kind of company we are, we also provide them with a memorial flag case at no extra cost to them to honor them for their service. Some people even include a letter. Final thoughts they want to leave to their loved ones. Have you thought about writing a letter?
I write a lot of letters.
You write letters to your wife?
I do.
This would be a perfect place to keep them. Very special. So, what happens upon your passing? One call starts it all. And what we do is upon signing up with our plan, we can get you started today, and you get this card, and we give you a temporary card, and you put it in front of your driver's license. You get in a car accident, God forbid, on the way home, and you don't make it. Emergency services know who to call, what to do with your body for the rest of your life. Your loved ones, whoever's got your body, they will know what to do, and you will be taken care of. And what happens after that call is made? Well, we receive the call by our licensed staff, and we take your body into our loving care. And we place it in a refrigerated crematory, climate-controlled holding, until the time of your cremation. Now, we offer a private viewing, which I'll talk about. But after that, our paperwork is reviewed with your next of kin. we notify Social Security. No digging up phone numbers. We get a death certificate sent to the physician. And then the cremation is scheduled and performed. In case of being a military vet, we notify the VA. And then the urn is either given or mailed to the designated next of kin. And like I said, we give family members a chance to say goodbye. This is an opportunity for the family members to just say one final goodbye. A lot of people think their family won't need that, but you don't know what your family's going to need until they need it. It's a kind of thing where I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
And people are worried. They say, well, I don't think my family's going to want to see me after I pass. They might not even make it. Well, some, because they don't make it to the hospital in time, do want that final closure. They don't know they need it at the time, but they do. But for those that don't, we keep all of your monies in an irrevocable trust. If they don't use this private viewing, where they get a keepsake memorial, book, jewelry, and prayer cards, if they don't use all that, we refund 100% of the cost back to your estate. How does that sound?
Very good.
Another opportunity we offer is called the celebration of life. Our other families have asked us about a bigger service. You're not just immediate family. They're part of a club or, have hundreds of friends that they've made, and they want something larger. We provide the professional services to plan and coordinate that event and the venue to hold it. Is that something you think that you would want?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have thought about what kind of venue you want after your passing for larger groups? Oh, that's great. You got it all planned out?
All planned out.
And that's going to be going into your planning guide?
Absolutely.
All right. So, is this part of your plan? One other opportunity we have is a scattering tribute where your ashes can be placed either in a national forest or the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean.
Never thought about that.
Well, this is a thing that we do. It doesn't include family or friends. It's just a scattering. And if you don't want your kids to say fight over who's going to put dad on the urn. On the urn, dad's ashes in the urn on their mantle. If you don't want that, we can scatter your ashes again at one of our designated places legally, which again includes the Atlantic, the Pacific, and we give your family a certificate featuring the longitude and latitude of your final scattering place. And they can even look it up on Google Earth and see where your ashes are.
That's different.
All right, well, that's another option that our company offers. Now, you want to choose a company that you can trust when you're making arrangements. And one of the things we say quite frequently is we are the oldest and largest crematory and funeral services company in the United States. We are A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. We have a national footprint across the country. We've been in business for almost 50 years. It'll actually be 50 years at the end of this year. We have over 650 current members and growing every day. And this number's a little old because we have over $600 million in our trust now for future uses for your pre-planning needs when the time comes. But one of the things our company is most proud of is our J.D. Powers Presidential Award. J.D. Powers has been in business for almost half of a century. And they've given out the presidential award only 16 times. And we are one of the companies that have gotten this award, one of those 16, and the only funeral services provider that has gotten this award.
Very cool.
This is why we've been endorsed by so many other legacy groups, such as the VFW, the Elks, the Moose, the Eagles. When recommended for pre-planning cremation services, the Neptune Society is their number one choice. So, we talked about the average cost of a cremation service being $5,150. But we didn't talk about the hidden costs in some of those, like locking in today's prices, no matter how far out. That's a price if you were cremated today, the average price. It doesn't include a place to record your life story in making everlasting memories. It doesn't cover you while you're traveling. It doesn't cover you if you relocate to anywhere. You're still going to have to pay the cost to get back to that local funeral home. They don't have the one call starts at all. They don't make those phone calls to Social Security and the VA administration. They don't protect your family's finances in the future or provide the memento chest that they'll need to have one place to find your final wishes and what to do. And most places do not have our professional service satisfaction guarantee. If you or your family is dissatisfied for any reason, we offer a full refund. So, with all this value, what would you think, knowing what the average price would be? What do you think our cost would be for our most popular plan?
$7,500.
Well, I am thrilled to tell you, Phil, that today I can offer you this plan for $3,611.78. And that price will never go up, and it will not charge you another penny for providing you peace of mind. And they make it so easy. All you need to do is fill out these vital stats, and we can get you signed up today. Does that sound good?
It does. Do you have payment plans?
We actually do. In fact, we're running a special this month that includes 0% financing. How does 0% sound to you, Phil?
That's the best there is.
That is the best there is. And now, tell me, are you interested in the private farewell, the opportunity to give your family some closure?
The extras and options, do I have to commit to those today, or can I add those later?
Well, you have 30 days to add those, but the away from home package, that needs to be added to get the price today. Well, all the plans really need to be added today to get today's pricing and to lock that in and to make it part of this payment program. Because we can get you started on our most popular package that includes the away from home and the private viewing for just $99 down as a good faith payment and $50 a month.
Done.
Well, that sounds great. But you mentioned you'd like to add the celebration of life. You'd like to have a bigger event. And as you know, those costs will go up over time. So adding that program, we can add that just for an additional $1,295. And that would make your down payment $499 and your monthly payments just $100 a month.
Yeah, I'll just do the first plan to start with right now.
Okay, you can always add the celebration of life, but as you know, those prices are going to go up over time, right. And you can lock that price in today or at our price at the time of signing. But go ahead and fill out these vital statistics, and are you interested in putting $99 down, or would you rather pay half now and have shorter payments?
No, we'll do it 99.
Okay, that sounds great. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad that you're covered. Who's the first person you're going to tell?
My wife.
Oh, she'll be very happy. Well, let me ask you, do you want to set up a plan for her as well?
I think she's already got it.
Does she?
It does.
Oh, well, so she got on the ball a little faster then, huh?
She did.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and you have a great day.
You too.